Hey, what's up everyone? Upstart here with RyXe Gaming, and welcome back to another episode of Satisfactory. Now, in the previous episode, I was talking about, we kind of sort of figured out how the reroll system was gonna work for the hard drives. Yes, I have three. There's a bunch of stuff you guys you've seen right now, but I'll explain all that. I'll show all that around in a bit. But first, the previous episode we were dealing with the hard drives, with because in the previous update or the previous version, you could sort of do like a reroll of what you like of the results if you didn't like what you got by saving before you checked on the results, and then checking them, and if you got what you wanted, then that's fine, and you kept on playing. Um, if you didn't like what you wanted, or you didn't get, if you didn't like what you got, or you didn't get what you wanted, you would simply just reload just moments to that save moments before, and then just try again, and it'll re-roll. In this update, I think they probably patched that because I guess that was something they didn't want happening. They sort of kind of that wasn't their intention, for that to be like exploited in that manner or that fashion. So they made it so that if you put it to analyze, or it says scan on this thing, scan. As soon as you put it, I guess, I think it's as soon as you put it, because you can't really know when it's gonna be, either at the beginning or like during the whole 10 minutes. But somewhere along those lines, I'm just gonna say as soon as you put it to scan, it just rolls what you're gonna get, and you just have to wait the 10 minutes. That's pretty much how they have it now, so that they can't be exploited that way. So what I try to do is put more than one, because now it's a building. So I was like, maybe you can analyze more than one at a time. So I had gone out and gotten these hard drives. Let me just pull up the map. I don't have all of them marked, but this one right here that I have marked, motor times 35, because I need 35 motors, is the one that was on top of like all these where's the map, on top of like the rock formations in that canyon where we were. The one that I had shown somewhere at the beginning of this, when I started doing the series of this, the gameplay of this update. So that one was that. There's some good materials up there. There's some good. I don't know if the resources that sometimes there's drop resources on the ground scattered all around. I don't know if those are randomly generated now in this update, or if they'll all be the same. But I have gotten computers, I've gotten supercomputers, high-speed connectors, heat sinks. There was something else, but I don't. Oh, there it is. Encased industrial beams, heavy modular frames. That's pretty much all the more advanced things that I managed to get from those drops. I don't know if it was just on that one, or if it was on the other three that I visited, because I actually have 3 hard drives, but that's the one that I haven't gotten, so it's still marked. The one of them was the one that I mentioned that was somewhere right over here by this pure coal deposit. It just needs 50 megawatt hours of electricity, and then you can get it. I don't know if I can't remember what resources were scattered around. Most of them had like wire, screws, reinforced iron plates, modular frames, easy stuff like that, not more advanced. I think the most advanced one was probably the one, right? Most advanced resources were probably in this area here, and somewhere back here where there's this coal node. This was those first coals or second coals that I discovered when I had gone over here. And these are the ones that are like at the bottom of like a cliff. One's pure, one's normal. So I'm using the pure one for the foundries, but we'll talk about that later. And somewhere like in there, somewhere off the coast, like I don't know if it's off here, or I think it was maybe this one, because I did have to swim a little bit. I think it's this little one right here. I think there's one right there. I can't remember. Like I said, these resources, I don't know if they were found here or here, but they definitely weren't found in that one crashed pod that we'd always just be seeing every time I pass by, somewhere like around here where these irons. There's one somewhere here, and then that one over there, definitely not there. But it has to be either one here or the one down here somewhere. All I did was make foundations, and since I have the blade runners now, I can jump higher, so I can just use the ×4. It doesn't really matter, but you you can just figure out your own way of getting up with the foundations and ramps and whatever. But those where I got those 3, 2 from here, 1 from here, and then this one's still there. So I thought maybe you can just, you know, put multiples and get it to work to do more than one at a time. I've already saved before this. I'm not gonna have this because I actually gave up after trying to get those inventory expansions. So I thought maybe you can like put more than one. No, they're shared, which sucks. I'm like, oh, maybe I can have more than one MAM station or MAM, and I can just have more than one working at a time, so I won't have to waste so much time, since we have to actually wait now the 10 minutes to see the results. Wait the 10 minutes, and because we can't re-roll anymore unless you save before you actually have scan it, and you have to wait 10 minutes. So I'm like, you know what? Then you put more than one, and then we'll see. I get 3 chances of seeing, you know, 3 different or 9 different options and see what I get. Because I think the expanded inventory research ones from the hard drives, I think those have like lower I'll just say drop rates, lower drop rates than pretty much any recipe, or it's the same. I don't know. I've always seen like the recipes like always pop up more than once if you don't get it. Like they just come out more often, you know, than the inventory slot ones. Because I've only ever gotten one of those, I think, or I don't know if I've gotten both, but I do know that it's just hard to get. But anyways, let me cancel this. I'm just gonna reload back before I put this, and I'll be right back. All right, back in, reloaded. So I still have my 3 right there. Yeah. So it didn't work. So I just left these 3 here. Just so I can show that, but I'm gonna remove them. I don't really want these. And it looks kind of nice because you have like a little, you know, I was gonna say like corral kind of thing, but you have like a little, you know, cozy little area hub here, equipment workshop, and then the MAM over here on the side. I have the awesome sink there, the awesome shop there, which I actually have 3 more coupons right now. I've been throwing in random stuff. This is my little setup for when I have like a lot of just resources maybe that I've been getting back, like all these iron plates and stuff, because I just put a bunch of little personal storages here so I can put all those away, because I've been bringing up all my stuff from down below. And you know, I did bring up the hub, as you've already seen. I brought that up, and I, you know, got myself a little area over here on the side, because since I've kind of sort of wanted to reserve everything that way of the ramp, like of the platform, to be for my production lines, I decided to just go over here on the side, off on the side, and, you know, make a little overhang, and whatever I need, I'll build platform, I'll build foundations, and, you know, just extend this side. But didn't really want to do too much. Like, I had it in the middle originally, but it just feels like too cluttered and in the way. This is all cluttered, but having that right in the middle, you know, to look from one side to the other, I didn't like that, so I just came off over here on the side. And I made it like that with these 4 containers, so that this could be like I could just start throwing things in there, in here, and then if I had more, I'd just go into these. I didn't want to have to climb all the way to the top and then have it like cascade down, so I just like, you know what, this one just goes, I throw it in there, go all the way up, and then they can do their thing. And if I need more space, more things to throw, you know, more space for more things to throw in, I'll just go in here. I'll climb up if I really need to, but if I don't, mainly just these 2 on the bottom. But anyways, that's enough of that. So before the whole hard drive reroll system shenanigans thing, what I was starting to do was finally I had started to get a steel pipes and steel beams production line over there somewhere, up and running, so I can start replacing and upgrading all my conveyor belts, conveyor lifts, and all that good stuff, so we can, you know, speed up the process, speed up the production lines. Mainly the transport, because the production lines and the miners are all, you know, flat rate. None of them are overclocked. So mainly we just needed to upgrade the conveyor belts because they were moving at 60 per minute, and then since my nodes are mostly all pure nodes, they're at minimum 120, so I needed to be at minimum that. So these are 240, so it's all 270, so it's all good. It's all good now. Yeah, 270 right here. So I've more or less I've already upgraded all of them. It's already been many long hours since technically the previous episode. Since the last time I recorded is what I'm trying to say. Just one thing, as this vehicle's coming up here, since I had made 2 carts, I was thinking, I'm like, you know what, I don't want to have to be going up and down on my own, having to press my my buttons all the time, my keys. So I just decided to you know what, let me put one on autopilot. So I made a path and then to do the autopilot thing. But the thing that sucks is that it doesn't work. I don't know if they fixed it. There was a recent patch or update. I don't know if they fixed that one though, that issue. And is that if you're inside, it doesn't work, the autopilot with the little cart here. It does work when it's on its own, as you can see. I just pretty much have it going back and forth, as you can see on the map. I just have it going back and forth throughout the whole ramp. The ramp starts like right there, so it's like going up right all this. It doesn't waste energy or what's it called, any fuel. So I just have it doing that. And here's this cart for whenever I want to use it. I haven't been using the cart anymore that much. It is technically slower than if you were to run with the Blade Runners. It's a little novelty item more than anything. It's kind of cool. So whatever. So yeah, I've upgraded all these things to Mark III, the lifts, the belts, all that, and down at the base or the foot of my ramp, you guys know that there's a huge tangled mess that I've showed of belts just trying to come in and connect to where I have them, to the respective lines that come up. It was a big mess. It was a huge issue trying to get all that and make sure everything was upgraded. Just because if you miss one, that's gonna be a huge bottleneck for your lines. So hopefully I got all of them. I have gone back every time I go down. I have checked it to see if everything was good. Everything was all upgraded, and according to my eyes, which are not very good, they are all upgraded. Everything up here is all upgraded too, because at first I had done all my basic production lines here, which was my smelters, foundries, stuff like that. I have some constructors with some things like the quartz to make it into with the rock quartz to make it into quartz crystal, because that's like the first step kind of thing. It's like the smelting process, but it needs a constructor instead of a smelter. Same with the concrete, limestone and concrete down over there. So it definitely looks like there's much more going on now than previously. But I haven't really done, well, technically I've done a lot, but not exactly, because you have to do all this manually, so that's a lot, but not exactly, because technically I don't really have much being produced right now. I'm using over half of my capacity. Actually, I already go over it with adding one of my production lines. I go over that limit. So with the another thing, somewhere in between, I had an issue with my it's not even marked on here, with my power grid, because I had it with only one water extractor to the 8 coal generators. I had an issue somewhere down the line, somewhere in between, where I had too many things going, and well, not exactly, I wasn't at the limit. I wasn't at my capacity, my production limit. I was somewhere like a 200, 300 something. I was less than this. I was somewhere like in the middle, and things started failing because it was not getting enough water. So it failed. So I had to go down. All I did was add 2 more. I connected the water extractor, the extra one that I had there, just not doing anything. I connected that, and I made a third one, and I connected that all together with the pipe junction cross on one main pipeline that was already connected to the coal generators, and just connected them on both sides. And it was a little issue. There was a little issue going on there, because since I had to, reactivate my coal generators, well, it was a little bit of a mess, but I got it done, and right now I have that going still, and it's all going good. Though I do still have the limit now, because I'm almost reaching that 600. So I will have to probably make more another like generator power plant area kind of thing that I have down here on my, probably on a coal node over here, or maybe the one in the middle, or maybe those down here. There's actually another impure one, 2 impure coals, so those I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. But anyways, right now I have everything running good, but I know I will need more power, so things are not, can't be expanded that much anymore unless I expand the power grid first. So what I had at first, I had it just coming out to here, this little conveyor line, so it can go up and go all the way across to another production line, for more advanced, quote unquote, production, because these would just be like the ingots, so you'd have to go over here to manufacture to turn that into like a product, let's say quick wire, because it's Caterium. So I moved it over because I did have it like somewhere kind of like in the middle over here, all weird and everything, but then now I centered it, because what I decided to do was extend it out a little bit and put all these containers down across, because I would probably need more than one line coming down for separate production lines, because for whatever's being produced of Caterium ingot down there is coming down here and being split or ratioed evenly for whatever is in it connected to that particular line, which all those Caterium that's being smelted, it's coming into this and then just coming out, and I have it split twice, but technically only once going that way, because I just have it extended out to here so it can just connect the lines. So I have all that producing or using, ratioed as best I could so it won't use more than what's being produced. So I have that at 82%. I'm not sure if my tower containers over here are already full. I think they are, because it's not going anymore. So I'm not going 7 high anymore as before. I did go 5 high here, and 3 high on the buffer that's over there. So pretty much the containers on this side over here are buffers, and these were like the warehouse area where I kind of sort of got everything, lined up. And then next, what would be next on this side, I haven't added any more platform or anything, but I've more or less gotten it all lined up. And this side would be for more complex things that would use the materials in these containers. Well, there's not really anything in these containers, but just the ones that are like extended or raised that you could see that they're actually developed. These are all just like placeholders kind of thing, just to have it like that, which I am gonna keep. So on this side, I would have like the manufacturers or assemblers or things like that would use, quick wire. Probably the things that use quick wire would be the closest to the quick wire, but if there's something else that needs to use, quick wire or something else, then it would have to be probably in between somewhere over here. I still haven't worked that out very well. I did the best I could to work this part out, because right here is just the basic stuff. I have the quick wire being made there. I have a regular wire being made on that line and this line. I have the copper sheets actually being made on this one and that one. And then since I didn't want to make it too long for like the first, proper production line of, like actual usable material, I actually went a second level. I don't really have a way to get up like a ramp or stairway. What I put on some of these is just like power conveyor poles, and just like just a ladder going up. And technically these foundations, the glass foundations, they're floating technically, so that's another thing. I have no walls anywhere. I don't really want to use walls, so that's what I have there. I just have that electricity being brought up like that, slanted or at an angle. And here I have more wire being made, and here I have more copper sheets. So this container here, this far left container, is all wire. This next one over to the right is all copper sheet. Then here should be wire, and then this copper sheet as well. Since I didn't want to, it was going to be a mess to try to combine whatever's coming from the top into the same ones that are, same containers with the same material on the bottom, as I have it just going up like that. It would be a mess, so I just decided to go over, as I do have more containers. It's not a big deal. So that's that one. Let me just head down, because those are only ones that have a second level. This one here, which should be for the quartz crystal, but there isn't anything else to do with quartz aside from crystal oscillator right now that I have. And well, I don't have the manufacturers for that, so there's nothing there. That's just empty. That's just like reserved for something. Maybe it might not be used. It might be used. Who knows? This one over here is the iron. If I remember, no, copper, no, iron. Yeah, the iron. I'm only using so far 3 of the iron lines that I have over there. So 2 are actually on connected to this one. So 2 of the production lines that are smelting the iron are in this one, and those are split halfways. Split in half, and then that line and this production line over here are iron plates, and then the other half is iron rods going over there. And then, is it iron rods? I think they are. Oh no, actually no, that's not the case. It's 2 of these, and these 2 lines are using just that one container there. These 2 production lines are using 240 of the output, so that's why that's those 2. It's 120, 120, and then the third one, the one that's on the next, the one that here on the side, that one's coming up. That's just one production line down there, one smelting line, and that is split here, and then feeding these 2, because the rods actually use less. They use 15 per minute, and the iron plates actually use 30 per minute. So that's why I have that. I don't have anything up top, even though I have a lot of iron over there. I haven't put more, because electricity is becoming an issue. Another thing is that it's just so much work that goes into this, and I'm getting tired, and I got tired of having to deal with that, and I'm like, what, that's good enough for now. Another thing was that I want to get the screws. I know I said I didn't really care for the alternate recipes right now, but I think I'm gonna go for the screw alternate recipe that just uses the plates, the iron ingots, and then just have it like on another line, probably connected here, and that would go on top. So I pretty much have it so that 2 sets of production of an item are being produced on the bottom. These are or of the same item. I don't know how to say it. The whole point is that it's just 4 production lines: 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then on the top would be the same. And if I would need more, I would probably just go vertical and keep going higher. I didn't want to do that, but since I started using the glass, I'm like, the glass looks kind of nice, and I kind of got it all to line up, so it all, like that center rod right there, just goes one way, all like every time you place it. And all you need to do is just like change it up a little bit. Can I get it on top going? No, I don't even have concrete on me. All you have to do is rotate it a little bit, like to one side, whichever side you want, and then every time you place it, it'll just go on the same side. It'll all be lined up how you want it. It's either this way or across like this. So I prefer that way because that's how my buildings here are facing. So I just went with that. And this over here is the foundry or the steel production. This is the steel pipes right here. The steel pipe container over there, which is the one far to the left over here, is already full. the beams, the steel beams, I think it's full now. It wasn't full before, but it's full now after I've gotten it done, because I had to do a lot of, there was a lot of trial and error and getting things to work and getting things to like line up that was involved in this. So I had a lot of time. This was left, you know, to run on its own. So that one over there is using one of the production lines of the foundries. So each production line is 3 foundries. So this one's using 1, and I was able to split that 4-way, but I did have to like lower the rate of production 99%, but I still had to lower it that 1%. This one is 60 per minute, but I had to lower it to 99%, so 59.4 on both. So that was already a 120, so I could not like add more constructors for that. This one over here is a separate line of 3 foundries. So since that's just like 120, so it's just 2 constructors as well, as I needed more steel beams and steel pipes, and steel pipes produce much faster than steel beams, so I decided to go with that. This side is limestone or concrete, but same with the quartz crystal. Not really anything to build with the concrete aside from, you know, the foundations and things like that. So that's why that's on its own right there, or empty. So the only thing that I can think of right off the top of my head that needs the concrete as a component to be like manufactured or produced is reinforced. What is it called? Encased industrial. I was gonna say reinforced iron something. Encased industrial beams, but I haven't unlocked that because that's that milestone that we have up in that top left-hand corner. But I might get it right now. I might not. Maybe. Yeah, probably before the end of the episode, because it's actually, you know, I'm rambling on a lot. Technically, I have to explain or at least show it off all the work I've got done from what I had the previous episode. So this is the line that broke my power grid, so I have it off actually, so it's not connected, because once I activate this or connect that to that power pole there, the whole line activates. It's 8 assemblers plus their 2 respective miners. The miners aren't much, they just give 8, but these use 15 each, so that's a lot. That's one, what, like 120 or something. But then activating that activates that, and I'm like, you know what? No. I took it off. I'm like, I don't really need that. This is the sulfur and coal lines making the black powder, as you were probably able to see the first time I checked that one over there. Black powder, but it's not like completely, like totally necessary right now, so I don't mind it being off, but it's there. At least I have it done now. Since it uses only 15 sulfur and then half of that of coal, I had to split it, and the sulfur is 120. It's a pure node. I had to split it. I had to divide 120 by 15, and well, that splits 8-way. So I had to do a huge spaghetti mess here and try to figure out how I was gonna split both the coal line and the sulfur line 8 ways. Well, I pretty much just split it once here, and then split it again in between. So that's the coal up top. It's splitting once in there into that line there, and then into that one right there, and then this one coming down at like at an angle or slanted. It's over here to the remaining 4, or the other half of that. But yeah, that's what that is right there. Let's head back over to the hub. Alright, so I've already got the materials on that I needed. So 200 pipe, 200 rotor, 1500 wire, and 300 concrete. I could have been done doing this for like a while already, but I just had to just wait until I, you know, got done with my production lines over there. And you know what? It's time to show it off, and it's time to get those done. So let's launch that. Go over here.
Milestone reached. Improved miner included to double extraction rates and improve efficiency of new pipelines. A collection of new, more complex parts is now available for crafting. An additional project part can now be constructed. Further progress to the next phase is now possible.
Alright, so it calls it phases. So what did it say about pipelines? It said something about pipelines. What can you really do with pipelines though? With this, nothing. Unless it gave me something. For pipelines, no. So I got the miner Mark IIs. I'm gonna have to upgrade all my miners to that. There is a slight issue with that, and that's that well, you can upgrade your miners, and since you know at base a pure node at like the base miner, which is miner Mark 1, it produces 120 per minute. So just adding this on, you know, upgrades the whole building. Plus, you can still overclock that. There's an issue with that with all my production lines, and that's the fact that these buildings can't be upgraded, only overclocked. So you either add more, add more smelters to a production line, and you know, split these one lines even further, like what I did with the sulfur and coal over there at the assemblers for the black powder, and make a mess out of it, or just like rework it or something, or simply just have it overclocked, everything overclocked up here, and just leave the miners to do their thing, you know, at their 100% rate instead of overclocking them or anything. So that's gonna be another issue I'm gonna have to deal with, and I knew I was gonna have to do that, but I wanted to get this done first, get all these production lines, assembly lines, whatever. I wanted to get all this done first and have something done before I started thinking about everything else. I know it's probably better to think like, you know, further ahead, but I'm like, I just wanted to get something done and have, you know, get resources started produced and automated, at least up here, because I had some down there, but down there was not like really, it was not very good down on the ground. So hyper tubes, that's something I definitely want to deal with, and something I definitely want to get. I don't know exactly how I'm gonna place these, but that's definitely the next thing I'm gonna get. So you know what? I was planning on ending the episode here. I could. Why do I have the vehicular transport? Hypertubes, come on. I probably, and I was thinking of ending it here, but I was like, maybe not, and let's do this milestone first. I think it's better to do the milestone in the next episode. That way in the next episode, we'll actually be able to show off the hypertubes. So that's gonna be the end of this episode. I know there wasn't really much, you know, going on. I showed like the best I could. I'm not really good at explaining things either, so I know I may have missed a lot of things, but at least like you can see what's going on. So yeah, at least we got a milestone done. Anyways, that's gonna be it for this episode. Thank you all for watching. Please subscribe if you want to see more. Hit that like button if you liked the episode, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.